You ever feel like you're doing all the right things, but still getting nowhere? Like you're checking the boxes, the job, the family, the podcast playing in your truck, but nothing's actually changing. What if you're not having a midlife crisis? What if you're just stuck in the wrong life stage? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly which stage you're in right now and what to do next so you don't waste another 10 years spinning your wheels. I was thinking about this at 2 a.m. the other night. You know the feeling. You're scrolling through LinkedIn, looking at guys you went to school with who seem to have it all figured out. Well, you're sitting there wondering if you should just quit everything and become a yoga instructor. Spoiler alert, I can barely touch my toes. My knees crack just thinking about the floor. There's a writer named Mark Manson who talks about this. He says life comes in 4 stages. He calls them mimicry, self-discovery, commitment, and legacy. I like to call them the copycat life, the chaos years, the deep work zone, and the mortal mindset. Because that's how they feel when you're actually inside them. If you don't know where you are, you'll keep trying to fix problems that don't even exist. That's how you waste years without realizing it. Think of it like wearing your high school jeans when you're 50. They might technically zip up, but you're going to be miserable all day long. Stage 1, the copycat life. We all start out as copy machines. We have to. When we're kids, that's how we learn to function. We copy what we see. Parents, teachers, friends. I remember a cousin of mine, weird guy, a few years older. He's the one who introduced me to Blink 182 and that specific way of not talking about your feelings that we all grew up with. I copied his walk. I copied the way he talked. I didn't have a blueprint of my own yet, so I just used his. But some people never stop copying. They become adults, and they just keep following a script someone else wrote. Get the safe job, chase the promotion, marry the person your family likes, buy the house with the big yard, even though you secretly hate the sound of a lawnmower. That's not a bad life. It's just not your life. I had a friend, Sarah, who worked in accounting for 12 years. Every single Monday morning, she'd text me about how much she hated the lights and the noise of the office. Every Friday, she'd swear she was applying for new jobs over the weekend. But Monday morning, there she was. Same spreadsheets, same meetings, complaining about the same guy who microwaved fish in the break room. She was stuck in stage 1.
It's comfortable there. Your parents are proud of you. Your Amazon wish list makes sense to people. But if your Sunday dread is louder than your alarm clock, you're probably still living someone else's script. And stage 1 has you by the throat. Does that feel like you? Just going through the motions because it's what's expected?
Stage 2, the chaos years. Freedom with 0 direction. Eventually, you wake up. You realize you can't keep doing the copycat thing, so you swing to the other extreme. You try everything. This is the throw spaghetti at the wall phase. Except the wall is your entire life, and the spaghetti is every half-baked idea you've ever had. You think you're being brave. I certainly did. I spent 2 years in this chaos. I tried freelance writing, then photography. I even got it into my head that I was going to make a fortune selling vintage furniture. I remember standing in my garage, It was mid-July, 95 degrees, and I was covered in this fine white dust from sanding down a heavy dresser I'd bought for $200. The varnish wasn't taking. The wood was blotchy and ruined. I had spent $600 on inventory that smelled like 50 years of attic dust and old cigarettes. My back was screaming from hauling that oak monster into my truck, and I was standing there in the heat realizing I had no idea how to actually finish wood. I was just a guy in a dusty garage with a sore back and a drained bank account. I signed up for a coding boot camp right after that. Lasted 3 weeks. Then I decided I wanted to be a personal trainer. My resume looked like a Pinterest board titled, "Things I Might Want to Do Someday." It turns out freedom without direction isn't freedom at all. It's just chaos in a hoodie. You burn out. Chasing novelty is exhausting. You start to feel like a failure because you can't commit to anything. But really, you're just learning what you don't want. And that's valuable information. Quick question. Drop the number of the stage you think you're in down in the comments. I'm curious how many of us are stuck in stage 2 right now. It's a loud place to be.
Eventually, the chaos loses its charm. You're tired of reinventing yourself every Tuesday morning. You don't want 10 options. You want one thing that actually matters. Stage 3, the deep work zone. This is where you stop dabbling. You pick a lane. You stick with it. Maybe it's your career, your kids, a craft. You pour yourself into it. It's hard work, but it's satisfying in a way stage 2 never was. You get good. People start looking to you for answers. Your business card finally makes sense. But here's the trap. If you cling too tightly to this, you get stuck here too. Nothing lasts forever. Not even success. Industries change. Your body gets older. Your kids grow up and they don't need you to fix their bikes anymore. If you build your entire identity around being the hotshot, what happens when the world moves on? I know guys who are still trying to be the man they were in their 30s. They're like that guy at the high school reunion who won't stop talking about his winning touchdown from 1987. Impressive once. Sad now. If your stories are all about who you used to be instead of who you're becoming, stage 3 might be holding you hostage. If you're guarding a trophy you won 10 years ago, you're not growing. You're just preserving. Stage 4, the mortal mindset. At some point, your energy dips. You don't want to climb the next mountain. You just want to sit and look at the ones you already climbed. Stage 4 isn't about giving up. It's about finally playing the long game. You shift from doing to teaching, from building to guiding. You stop trying to be impressive and you start trying to be useful. You're okay with not being the hero anymore. You'd rather help someone else win. My dad hit this stage a few years ago. He spent 30 years building a construction company. 70-hour weeks. He missed school plays. He missed family dinners. He was always on the phone, always chasing the next contract. Then he sold it. Now, he teaches carpentry at the local community college. He makes a fraction of what he used to make. But he's happier than I've ever seen him. He comes home with stories about his students instead of complaints about his clients. He smells like fresh pine shavings and old coffee, and he's finally at peace. He's not the boss anymore. He's the guide. It's less about stacking achievements and more about stacking impact. Why we get stuck. So why is it so hard to move between these stages? Because moving forward hurts. Every stage requires you to let go of something you once thought was you.
your role, your values, your idea of success, the version of yourself that your friends and family expect to see.
It's not the growth that hurts. It's the shedding. It's like an old skin that just doesn't fit your frame anymore. You're not stuck because you're doing nothing. You're stuck because you're clinging to an identity that's expired. Consistency is a good thing, but sometimes consistency is just stubbornness in a work shirt. Sometimes the brave thing isn't sticking with it. It's admitting it's time to let go. Here's the truth. You're allowed to outgrow your life. You're allowed to change your mind about what success looks like. You're allowed to want different things at 45 than you did at 25. And you're allowed to move backwards too. This isn't a video game. Maybe you need to revisit stage 2 because you committed to the wrong thing too early. That's fine. The point isn't to rush. The point is to recognize where you are and stop fighting the current. So, be honest. What stage are you in? And are you still supposed to be here? Don't romanticize it. If you're still trying to please everyone, you're copying. If you're trying 10 things and feeling like a failure, you're exploring. If you've built something but you feel resentful, maybe it's time to pass the baton. Growth isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about stopping what no longer fits. You're not broken. You're just overdue for a shift. And that's okay. Actually, it's more than okay. It's human. If this helped you get some clarity, subscribe for more like this and share it with a guy who's been feeling stuck lately. Just sit with it for a bit. Grab a coffee. Think about what stage you're really in, not the one you think you should be in. I think it's time to sharpen the tools again.